Brooklyn from the Paper Garden, and I'm very excited to draw with you today. Today we are going to be learning to draw a mermaid, so I'm super excited. It's going to be a super fun video, so get ready and we're going to get drawing.
Alright, to draw our mermaid we are going to need a pencil, a rubber, a sharpener, and a pen if you've got one. A felt tip is great if you've got that, but if you've just got pencils, that's alright as well. So, to start off our cute little mermaid, we are going to draw her head. Now I'm going to do a girl mermaid today, but you're very welcome to do a boy mermaid. It will work just as well for a boy. Alright, so here's our head. We've just got a circle at the top here for our head. And what we're going to do after that is create her ribcage. So we need to leave room for a neck, so maybe like a third of the size of the head between, and then we're going to do a circle, maybe slightly bigger than the head, but almost the same size, coming below our head there. Cool, so now we've got our head and we've got our rib cage. What we're going to want to do next is create the curve of the shape of the mermaid and where the mermaid's tail is going to go. So I'm going to do a line coming down from the bottom of the head where the neck is, down through the spine. So we're going to create the spine. I'm going to do mine coming straight down, and then we can choose where our tail is going to go. So we need to come down a little bit. It's not going to go straight up. So we need to sort of come down to where, at least for where the stomach is, the start of the tail, and then we can choose whatever direction we want our tail to go in. So see if you can choose a different direction to me to make your mermaid a bit more unique. Alright, there we go. Beautiful tail shape there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to leave room for the belly, but we're going to create another circle about the same size as the rib cage over here. Amazing. And you can choose. So this is going to be the hips of your mermaid. So if you want big hips, you can make it bigger. If you want small hips, you can make it smaller. But yeah, you can choose the size of that. Cool. Then what we're going to do next is show where the placement of the arms is going to go. So I'm going to create some little triangles just coming off the edge of that middle circle there, almost like cat ears. And then from the top of that triangle I'm going to create the arm. Now the length of the arm should be about from the top of that triangle to the middle of this hole in between the two circles. So that's where the belly button would go. So that would be the length of that part of the arm. But we can put it in any direction we want. So I, again, want you to be creative with where you put your arms, but just make sure you measure that length so your arms aren't too long. And then a similar length, maybe slightly shorter, for the forearm or this part of the arm. Cool. So, and you can do like a little circle in the middle where your elbow goes, and then a circle where your wrist is, and then we're just going to do a little oval for where the hand is. Cute. Alright, next we're going to do the exact same on the other side for the other arm. I'm going to make her look like she's dancing a little bit. So put it up here, and then a circle for that hand. Cool. Now she's not looking much like a mermaid yet, so we need to fill this out to make her look a little bit more mermaidish. So one thing that we're going to do is we're going to join up where this shoulder is down to where the hips are here. So you might cut off a tiny bit of that circle down to the hips. And then we're going to, so we'll go out where the hips are, and then we're going to come all the way around to this point and make this line meet at this point. So we're going to make it go all the way around here, and then the other side all the way around there. And now we've got our mermaid tail. How cool is that? And we'll finish off the tail later. Obviously it's got to have like these ones on the end, but I'll show you how to do that later. But first we're going to make the arms not look like sticks anymore. So from the bottom of this triangle we're going to come out and create the bottom of the arm. We'll come in a little bit for where the elbow is, and then sort of on both sides we can just thicken it out a bit. And I think we might want to make our hand a little bit bigger. There we go. Looking good. I'm just creating some thickness around the arm there. And again, maybe like a slightly bigger hand. Looking good. Alright, now we've basically got our mermaid body. Alright, now what we can do is we can rub out all these bits that we did in the middle, because we don't need them anymore. They were just to help us understand where to put everything. And make sure you put your neck in too, so we're just going to create a little curve around there for the neck. Alright. And the neck's pretty long, so I'm going to bring that head down a tiny bit further and make it more of an oval. There we go. Alright, got all my rubber shavings on my paper. Alright, cool. So, now what we want to do is start to bring in some of the details. So, firstly, we'll do the end of the tail. So we need to do, I guess, what you can do to help you do the end of the tails is maybe two little sort of oval shapes and then a triangle on the end of them. And then you can trace around that and create this beautiful mermaid tail shape. And we can join that up to the tail there. Isn't it beautiful? Alright, now we're going to create the line for where the tail starts. So what I'm going to do to create that line, I'm not going to do a hard line, I'm actually going to just start to put some scales in. The scales are going to look like that. So I'll show you on another sheet of paper just so you can see a bit bigger the shape of them. So they're like little sort of half circles like this. Alright, so eventually we're going to put those scales the whole way down and around, but I won't do that right now. Then we also need to put a shirt on her, so I'm going to use some clams to create a shirt. So some seashells to create a shirt. So to create the seashell shape, and I'll show you over here. So I'm gonna it's if it was a square, it would be this shape, but we're not doing it as a square, we're gonna do it rounded, so it's a rounded version of that shape I just drew, so like that. Then we're gonna have some little things coming off the side like this, and then we're gonna have lines going down like that. All the way down. We can rub out that top bit there. And that's the sort of shape we're going to use to create her shirt. It looks kind of silly when it's big, but it will look nice when we do it small. So, show you how to do that there. We're going to do two, one on either side. There we go. We've got her shirt. Can't forget to give her a little belly button. So rub out some lines there. Alright. Cool, now we've got to do her face. So to do her face, I'm going to start off with her eyes in the middle. Now, one of the big mistakes people make when they're drawing a face is they think that the eyes go at the top. Now, that's a lie. That's not true. The eyes actually always go in the middle of the face, smack bang in the middle over here. So you can even draw a line through the middle, one very lightly, so you can rub it out with your pencil. So I'm going to do that. And to know the size of the eyes, you should be able to have 5 eyes going across the face. So imagine there's another eye there and another eye there. You see how there's 5 eyes going across the face, but obviously we're not going to draw those extra ones in. We're just going to start off with our eyes, and our eyes can be just an almond shape like that and that. And then to fill in our eyes, we're just going to sort of create a circle coming from the top of the eye, another circle in the middle, and then this one's not going to be in the middle, it's going to be at an angle where the light is hitting there. I'm going to colour in that middle circle, or the almost middle circle, the second from middle circle. And then if your face is big enough, you can also create some detail in the iris like this. So mine's probably not going to be big enough to do that much detail. I'm going to sharpen my pencil so I can get a little bit more detail in there. Excellent. Alright, now we're going to bring in the eyebrows. So I'm going to start my eyebrow, and I'll actually show you on the other page. I'm going to start my eyebrow up around here. Oops, my pencil just broke. It was way too sharp. And then it's going to come around and then create the nose shape like that. And you can do whatever nose shape you want. It doesn't need to be round. It can be pointy like that. It can be more of an actual nose shape like that. Up to you what you do there. This page is getting very messy now. So I'm going to put in my eyebrow, and so on one side you're going to join your eyebrow up to your nose, and on the other side it's not going to be joined. So you see on this side I'm joining that eyebrow up to the nose, and then on this side it's just going to sit by itself. Alright, now we're going to do our mouth. We can just do a little smile there for our mouth. Now, what's she missing? She is missing her hair. So what I recommend you do for hair is just do some little lines coming down. So on her fringe, I've just got some little lines coming down here. And then I'm going to have them all waving out around her because she's in the water, so her hair would be spreading all around. Alright, I'm not going to put lots of detail into that with my pencil because I'm going to go over it with pen and use much more detail when I go over it with pen. And when I do the scales, I'm not going to do them first in pencil, I'm just going to go straight in and do them with pen. But if you're not confident, you might want to do them with the pencil first and then trace over them in the pen to make sure you've got the right spot. Alright, the only other thing that I'm going to make sure we have is our thumb. So I'm just going to bring a little thumb coming out of the ovals for the hands. And I'm not going to worry about too much detail on the hands because hands are pretty hard to draw. So you can put some fingers in if you wanted, but it doesn't matter too much. And now I'm just going to go over all of it with pen, which you can do too, and I'm going to speed that up on the video because it might be a bit boring to watch me do it slowly. Yeah, enjoy. One thing I did forget to mention was when you are doing your scales, it's really important that So we've sort of got this shape, which I showed you, that we're creating, but we've got lots of rows of scales, right? So with the next row of scales, it's important that the top part starts in the middle of the one above it. So the top is starting at the bottom of the previous one. So you'll see that I'm doing that. I'm trying to even hold it closer so you can see that I'm doing that. Now another thing I'll get you to notice as I'm doing these scales is I'm trying to make them all go in the same direction, so they're not all going straight down, they're sort of moving direction. And the way that you might need to do that is create some extra scales sort of towards the bottom, like I've been doing, that don't go all the way to the top, because we're going to need extra scales down here to keep that curve shape. And make sure that, yeah, your scales are always, let's say you've got, like that's the tail, we always want the scales to be going in the same direction as the tail. So if the tail was going like this, we'd want our scales to be going like this. Alright, and now to just finish off our beautiful mermaid, we're just going to do some lines inside the tail like that. So just following the direction of the tail on each side, starting on the outside, and then following it, moving to the inside, and we might have a straight line in there. Alright, let's take our final look at our beautiful mermaid. And here she is in all her glory. I hope you've had lots of fun watching me draw this beautiful mermaid, and I hope you can create one too.
Thank you so much for drawing mermaids with me today. I hope you had just as much fun watching and drawing as I had creating the video. I also wanted to let you all know, if you are watching this video at the time it's being released, I am running a series of online kids workshops over the next 6 weeks. So that's going to entail all sorts of fun things like how to do proportions, how to do shading. We're going to bring in some charcoal and learn to do portraits. We're also going to do some animals, and we're also going to do some watercolor as well, which is going to be so much fun. So the workshops are called Art Quest, and there's a whole story behind the name Art Quest, but you can read about that by clicking on the link in the description below, which will take you to those workshops, and I really hope that you can make it. I'm also making art packs, of which include all sorts of, the important things like watercolors and charcoal and paper, as well as some fun little goodies in there too. So yeah, I hope that I will either see you there or I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.